Thank you. I think this motion is well intentioned. And I think everyone that we heard from to a person said, yes, we realize that we have a deficit in social housing in the city and we need to do something about it. I just don't think this is the right thing to do about it. And I'll tell you why. Whether we agree with it or not, when you go through rezonings, by definition, you are inflating the value of the land. The minute we change the rezoning, BC Assessment comes in and reassesses that property to highest and best use. So the act of allowing what would amount to widespread rezoning of multiple sites without going through a rezoning process will still have the effect of inflating those land values. Why is this important? Well, I come back to what I heard from one of our speakers, and that was that we have significant existing zone capacity in the city. So what I think we should be asking ourselves is, can we not be finding ways of encouraging social housing and housing a variety of different typologies within our existing zone capacity so we don't continue to inflate land values through upzoning? So I really do think that there are things that the city can do. We can shorten the process. Time is money, and we know it's a long, drawn-out process. And it costs a lot of money in getting permits, whether it's development permits or building permits through the city. So there's things that we can control as an organization to help ameliorate concerns around the cost of producing housing in the first place. Now, all that said, this has been described as a violation of the public trust and sidestepping the public process and being anti-democratic. It's absolutely essential that we be listening to the people that elect us, that pay taxes directly or indirectly, and to be sidestepping a public process as important as this undermines the public trust fundamentally. And we better start paying attention. And I think the overwhelming opposition that we heard today speaks to that. There are other issues. Bad urban design that is ignoring recognized best practices in terms of height and density, etc. I'm always concerned anytime I hear the Housing Vancouver strategy targets used as justification. As we've already had it determined that these targets are aspirational and not evidence-based, as several speakers pointed out, we continue to wait for the data that we need to be making more informed decisions. This will be or would have been precedent setting for other forms of development in the areas, because the argument that just because it's a nonprofit development, it's not going to influence other development around it is of course just not accurate to anyone that watches development processes over time. And then there is the rent-eviction of existing tenants and the human displacement cost. I think, again, as we're concerned about what we're doing with affordable housing, the last thing that we should be doing is getting rid of what we've already got. And I am distressed in some of these meetings where I've been hearing it described as 35 years being a life cycle, an adequate life cycle on building, which is, of course, silly. The definition of social housing has got to be addressed. I don't think there was a single person here that didn't have a problem with that. And it's, from my perspective, intellectually dishonest to be continuing to be making decisions based on completely erroneous underlying assumptions, such as are based on our social housing definitions. And then finally, again, I'll just come back to the public process. This would have widespread impact, and the public was largely unaware. You know, I was asked, how do we have 100 people plus that came out for this? Would have been a lot more if more people had been aware of it, frankly. So all in all, cannot support this motion, believe it to be well-intentioned and encourage us to be looking for better solutions. Thank you.